Picture post-war Britain, 1947. The country is exhausted, rationed, and broke. And in a small workshop in Lincolnshire, a group of engineers decides to build the most extreme racing engine the world has ever seen. No half measures, no compromises. They want to beat Ferrari and Alfa Romeo at their own game. And they want to do it with a machine so advanced it would still sound impossible 70 years later. This is the story of the engine that screamed to 12,000 revolutions per minute. The story of the BRM V16. It begins with a dream and a name: British Racing Motors. Founded in 1945 in the quiet market town of Bourne, the idea was almost patriotic. Two men, Raymond Mays and Peter Burton, believed Britain could build a world-beating Grand Prix car. Not with one company's money, but with the whole of British industry behind it. They called it the BRM Trust. More than 100 firms, from tiny machine shops to giant manufacturers, donated parts, labour and expertise. It was a national effort, a point of pride for a nation rebuilding itself from the rubble of war. And the heart of it all would be the engine. Here is where ambition turned to obsession. The rules of the day allowed a tiny 1.5-litre engine if it was supercharged. Most teams built a modest straight 8. BRM went somewhere else entirely. They designed a V16, 16 cylinders arranged at 135 degrees, essentially two small V8s joined back to back. The pistons were among the smallest ever fitted to a racing engine, barely larger than a coffee cup. To force air into that swarm of cylinders, they turned to Rolls-Royce, the company whose Merlin engines had powered the Spitfire through the Battle of Britain. Rolls-Royce built them a two-stage centrifugal supercharger, aircraft technology, scaled down and bolted to a racing car. The target was staggering, a peak of 14,000 revolutions per minute, at a time when rival engines were spinning to barely 7,000. When it finally ran, the figures defied belief. As much as 600 horsepower at 12,000 revolutions per minute from an engine smaller than the one in a modern city car. Its rivals were making around 300. BRM had doubled it. But the numbers were never the most astonishing thing about this engine. It was the sound. When the V16 lit up, it did not roar like other racing cars. It shrieked. A piercing metallic wail that climbed and climbed closer to a jet turbine or a fighter plane than anything on four wheels. People who heard it in person never forgot it. They said you felt it in your chest before you ever saw the car. To this day, it is considered one of the greatest sounds in the history of motorsport. A nation held its breath. Surely with all this power and all this pride, victory was certain. It was not. The car's competitive debut came at Silverstone in 1950. The crowd was enormous. Expectations were impossible. The great Raymond Sommer lined up at the front, the screaming green car ready to humble the Italians. The flag dropped, and the BRM broke a drive shaft on the start line. It rolled forward only a few feet, then stopped dead as the rest of the field thundered away into the distance. The crowd, who had waited years for this moment, threw coins onto the track in disgust. It was a national humiliation, broadcast to the world. And yet the engine's brilliance was undeniable. Later that same season, at Goodwood, Reg Parnell took the car out in pouring rain, unable to use even half of its terrifying power, and won 2 races back-to-back. On a dry road, flat out, the V16 could touch 170 miles per hour, a speed that rewrote the record books. The talent was there, the genius was there. But so was the curse. The engine was monstrously complex and brutally unreliable. That supercharger gave almost no power low down, then unleashed everything at once, making the car nearly impossible to drive. Components shattered under stresses no one fully understood. In Championship Formula 1, this 600 horsepower marvel scored just a single point. And then the rug was pulled. For 1952, the rules of Formula One changed, and the supercharged 1.5-litre cars were no longer eligible. Almost overnight, the V16, the most advanced engine on Earth, was obsolete. It saw out its days in minor races, a magnificent answer to a question nobody was asking anymore. So, was it a failure? On the scoreboard, almost, but that is not where this story ends. BRM did not give up. The team learned, evolved, and kept fighting through the 1950s. And in 1962, that same little outfit from Bourne reached the summit of the sport. Graham Hill, driving a BRM, won the Formula One World Championship, and the team took the constructors' title alongside him. The dream born in a bankrupt, war-torn Britain had finally come true. As for the V16, its legend only grew. In 1968, Graham Hill revved 1 to 13,000 revolutions per minute in a demonstration, the engineers reckoning it was making close to 780 horsepower. It was wildly ambitious, hopelessly flawed, and utterly unforgettable. The BRM V16 remains the boldest swing in British engineering history. Proof that sometimes the goal was never just to win, it was to reach for something impossible at full throttle and make a sound the world would never forget. This has been Redline Britain. If this story moved you, subscribe, and we will see you at the next Redline.